Have you ever heard of constructions so grandiose that they defy logic? Monuments built with unimaginable wealth that challenge time. Some mysteriously collapsed or hide secrets science still struggles to explain. The Bible mentions some of the most impressive buildings in history. Each one carries a hidden mystery, a lost message, or a truth few dare to investigate. In this video, you'll embark on a fascinating journey through 5 of the most incredible biblical constructions and the secrets they conceal. But stay alert. The last one on the list might challenge everything you thought you knew and may just leave you speechless. Are you ready to explore the mysteries that unite faith, history, and archaeology? Then get ready, because what comes next may change your perspective on the past and the future. Let's get started. Have you ever imagined building a gigantic ship without modern technology? No cranes, no electricity, just wood, calloused hands, and unshakable faith. That's exactly what Noah did. And centuries later, his story continues to intrigue scientists, archaeologists, and all who believe in the impossible. The Bible tells us that in a time of extreme corruption and chaos on earth, God chose one man for a mission that seemed impossible: to build a colossal refuge to save his family and representatives of every animal species from a global flood. Now picture the scene. Noah receives this divine command. He begins cutting wood, carving joints, designing compartments. The work is grueling. Decades of construction under the scorching sun, facing mockery, doubt, and the weight of being responsible for preserving God's creation. But the ark was no simple boat. Its dimensions were massive, approximately 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet high, nearly the size of a modern cargo ship, all made of gopher wood and coated with pitch to withstand the waters. Now think with me. How did Noah achieve this without advanced tools? How did he organize the animals inside? This wasn't just a ship. It was a supernatural act of preparation and faith. Now imagine the impossible. Walls didn't fall from battering rams or explosives, but from something far more mysterious: the sound of trumpets and cries of faith. This is the story of Jericho, one of the oldest cities in history and the site of one of the Bible's most controversial and mysterious events. According to the biblical account, Jericho was a heavily fortified city. For the Israelites, who had wandered in the desert for 40 years, conquering it seemed impossible. But God had a plan, one that defied all military logic. The Israelite army received a peculiar order: march around the city once a day in silence for 6 days. No attacks, no weapons, just a silent procession, waiting for a divine signal. Then on the 7th day, everything changed. 7 trips around the city, trumpets blasting, a unified shout from all the people, and then, inexplicably, the walls collapsed, not from machines, not from earthquakes, but from sound. In the 1950s, British archaeologist Kathleen Kenyon excavated Jericho and discovered something startling: ruins of a massive wall that appeared to have collapsed suddenly. The most shocking part? The walls seemed to fall from the inside out. Typically, when a city is attacked, the walls are broken from the outside in. But this matched the biblical narrative. The collapse wasn't man-made. It was something greater. Some researchers argue it could have been an earthquake. Jericho is located on a fault line, and tremors aren't uncommon. But here's the twist. How could the Israelites have predicted the exact timing of an earthquake? And how did it coincide precisely with the trumpet blasts? If an earthquake was responsible, then we're faced with divine-level synchronicity. Could this be one of those moments where science and faith meet? One thing is certain: Jericho remains one of biblical archaeology's greatest mysteries. Now we move to something even grander. Imagine a temple whose walls were lined with pure gold, reflecting the sunlight in a celestial glow. A place so sacred, it was built to house the very presence of God. This was Solomon's temple, Israel's most revered structure, shrouded in mystery and spiritual power. It began with King David. Though he longed to build it, the task was given to his son, Solomon, the wisest king in history. The location? Mount Moriah, the same place where Abraham nearly sacrificed Isaac, a site already marked by divine encounters. Solomon's temple was more than a feat of engineering. It was a holy masterpiece. Stones were quarried and shaped off-site, so no sound of hammer or chisel would disturb the sacred zone. How did they fit massive stones perfectly without tools on site? This detail alone boggles the mind. Lebanon's prized cedars were imported. Their aroma filled the air, not just for beauty, but as symbols of royalty and divine connection. Then came the most breathtaking detail. The entire interior was covered in pure gold. Carvings of cherubim, palm trees, and flowers adorned every surface, creating an atmosphere that transcended earthly reality. At the heart of the temple was the Holy of Holies, where the Ark of the Covenant rested, a place so sacred only the high priest could enter. After 7 years of labor, the temple was complete. At its inauguration, something miraculous happened. Solomon prayed, and a glorious cloud descended, filling the temple. Fire from heaven consumed the offerings. The people fell in awe, knowing they were in the presence of the living God. Though the temple was destroyed centuries later, its secrets and spiritual weight still echo through time. Next up, a structure that aimed to reach heaven itself. Imagine a world where everyone speaks the same language. No barriers, no borders, just one goal: to build a tower that reaches the heavens. That's the story of the Tower of Babel. After the flood, humanity settled in the land of Shinar, modern-day Mesopotamia. United by one language, they began building a colossal tower using cutting-edge materials for the time, fired bricks and bitumen. But the motivation was clear. Let us make a name for ourselves so we won't be scattered across the earth. They sought to challenge God, but then God intervened. He confused their language. Suddenly, no one could understand each other. Construction halted. The site descended into chaos. The once unified humanity was divided. The great tower was abandoned. Many scholars believe the story reflects ancient ziggurats, massive temple towers built in Mesopotamia. One famous ziggurat, the Etmananki, was known as the house that unites heaven and earth. Now our final construction, a story of pain, hope, and rebirth. Imagine being exiled from your homeland, your temple, the heart of your faith, destroyed. Yet instead of giving up, your people return and rebuild. That's the story of the Second Temple of Jerusalem. After 70 years in Babylon, the Jews returned home. King Cyrus of Persia not only allowed it, he funded the rebuilding. But the new temple was nothing like Solomon's. Smaller, simpler, no ark, no gold-covered walls. Elders wept when they saw it. But then the prophet Haggai delivered a divine promise. The glory of this latter house shall be greater than the former. Haggai 2:9 centuries later, King Herod the Great expanded it, transforming it into a wonder of the ancient world. Vast courtyards, gold and marble, majestic columns. It was in this temple that Jesus taught, overturned tables, and made a bold prophecy. Not one stone here will be left on another. In 70 AD, this prophecy came true. The Romans destroyed the temple. Gold melted in the fire and seeped between the stones. Soldiers dismantled it all to retrieve the metal. All that remains today is the Western Wall, a symbol of both glory and grief. But the story doesn't end there. Jesus said, "Destroy this temple, and I will raise it again in 3 days." He was speaking not of stone, but of himself. He is the new temple, and now God's presence doesn't dwell in a building, but in the hearts of his people. So ask yourself, if God wants to dwell in you, is your life ready to receive him? Thank you for watching this far. May God bless you, and we'll see you in the next video.